intellectual properties that died with people because they brought their dreams to a small mind. And that person that they thought that loved them killed that dream. And
Sylvia, I heard you got some late payments deleted requests. Is that true?
Yes,
Consumer
actually,
Law,
I
you the first
removed
person that come up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, let it
Yeah,
go.
I got a bankruptcy removed.
What I did was I called the creditor, which was J.C. Penney. I read the two laws off to them. USC, 15 USC, 1561A.
do you know the amount of dreams, the amount of songs, the amount of videos, books, intellectual properties that died with people because they brought their dreams to a small mind? And that person that they thought that loved them killed that dream, and it was never birthed. The cemetery is one of the richest places on earth. There's so many things that could have been brought that was never brought. It got stifled.
And that's deep because, you know, that is the case with a lot of relationships these days. And again, when I say relationships, I want people to truly understand that I'm talking about business relationships. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about the family relationships. I'm talking about the spouses. When you're coming to somebody with a dream, it's rare that they can, and you know, a lot of the times it's really not even their fault. They lack the education. So when they're speaking to you, it's not even like they're trying to kill your dream. It's they don't understand they're doing it. They look at you and you have this great idea, but for them, that's terrifying, especially if they're a spouse. You know, like, oh my God, if you do this, all of our money is gone. And then what? That's terrifying.
You
for a
remember
lot of people.
what Jay-Z said when he was doing his album and his uncle was projecting his fear on him about what he could and couldn't do, but Jay believed in him so much. Dude's a whole billionaire now, multi-billionaire. When do we become so selfish that it's okay to be selfish, to focus on you? We want to help everybody going up. Dude, if you're going up a ladder and you're pulling everybody up, you will never reach. Somebody got to go up top, tie a rope, and throw it back down. And along the way to success, see, there's going to be so many people that's trying to pull you down, even your own family. And you know what's crazy? People that you knew and grew up with, they're going to say, oh, I remember when you used to do this. Yeah, you knew me when I was running around barefoot. You knew me when I was doing crazy stuff. That's not what I'm doing anymore. Why are you trying to remind me about that? Dude, I've worked so hard to leave that life. So if all you can do is think about the past, you have no business into my future. See, because we got a thing called imagination. And thinking is the hardest thing most people never do. And with imagination, it's a gift from God that we got, where we can visualize a future, go to that future, come back to the present, and build what we need to attain that future. But because of programming, go to school, get a job, join the 40-40-40 club, 40 hours a week for 40 years and 40% of pension. How does that even make sense?
So I want to ask you a question. What is some advice that you would tell someone, like for instance, they wake up today and they're very unhappy with their job, just the way that they're living, and what is some advice that you will tell them? Like, would you tell them to quit their job and just continue on, like trying to start a business? Like, how would that go, like, for you?
Well, it's good that you're uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable and you're upset about your current life, it means that something is there for you to do. There's a purpose for you. People got to find their purpose. And I wouldn't say quit your job. Do your job to the best of your ability. But the same way you were investing 8 hours into somebody else's business, when that job is finished, are you going home to invest that same type of energy in yourself? Use the funds from your 9 to 5 to fund the freedom for the rest of your life. That's my advice.
And I believe I watched a pretty dope clip the other day. It was of Sauce Walker. You know, when we're chasing after a dream, when you're chasing after anything in life, you know, you have to have laser-like focus into that. And a lot of the times, you know, we're being accused of being selfish.
It's cool
when we're doing that.
It's
but
okay.
It is okay.
It is
to
okay.
Be selfish in
it
those
is
moments.
okay.
Absolutely. Because how else will you be able to throw that rope down if you weren't selfish for yourself in the moment to even climb up that ladder in the first place? Because you'll be on the same playing field as everybody else. You can't lift anybody up. And then once you get them up to the next level, you got to go climb again. And then you'll throw the rope down again. And then eventually you'll have everybody aligned with you. The people that you need to be aligned with you will be aligned with you. And they'll understand exactly what it was that you were doing. And they'll judge you a lot differently because we're all judged. You know, entrepreneurs are judged the most and the harshest. It's like, oh, all you do is think about yourself. You know, like if you're broke with them and you lend them $1, amazing, best person in the world. If you're making a lot more money than them and you give them 1,000, you're a scumbag.
Now it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? People are cool when you're broke with them. They'll do everything with you. But you see, the minute you start to educate yourself and leave that circle, oh, you're too good for us, you don't hang around anymore. You are an average of the 5 people that you're around. So if that is true, why on God's earth would I want to hang around broke people to be the next broke one? Let me go find people that are millionaires and multi-millionaires. Because if that is true and I hang around these millionaires, guess what I'm going to learn? How to make millions. So why not audit our circle? It's okay to let people go. Let them go. Not everyone you start with, you're going to finish it. We got to be comfortable in letting people go. People are seasonal. They belong in your life for a season. Our issue is that we think that we can bring everybody with us. No, it doesn't work. Not everyone is suited for the journey. If that was the case, everybody would have been lawyers and doctors. They're not. Many are called, but few are chosen. The question is, are you going to spend your time and plant your roots in an environment not conducive to your growth, like an acorn on a windowsill? Or are you going to have that oak tree inside of you planted in a forest so that oak tree can grow? You can be on the windowsill, that oak tree will be trapped in you forever. Or you can take that same acorn, go to the forest and plant it so you can grow into your greatness. Leave people alone, man. Especially if they're negative. Oh my God. Leave negative people alone. I love you, but I'm going to love you from a distance. People are energy vampires. They will drain your energy. And they'll take and they'll take. They'll take everything from you. But then you become an empty vessel. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. And when you give everything, who pours back into you? Who's going to pour back into you?
Facts.
If you're not in masterminds, mentorship, if you're not working on your self-development, if you're not working on your credit, starting businesses, learning how to become financially free, when you've given your all, who pours back into you?
So I have a
That's
question.
right.
Can you walk me through your process when you came over here to the United States? Like, what was going on through your mind? What jobs did you get to start where you are? Like, what advice was you telling yourself to keep going? Like, how did that start?
All right. So for self-motivation, I've never had an issue there ever since I was a kid. I was just that kid I was just motivated. God gave it to me. I accepted abundantly, right? And coming here, my first job here was at Dairy Queen. I was making like $7.30 an hour, dude. I was killing
Is Dairy
it.
Queen everywhere in the United States?
I don't even know, but I went to New Hampshire.
Okay.
When I first moved here, I was in New Hampshire. I've never been that cold in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's my first time my bones were ever cold.
Yeah.
Dude, that cold hit different.
I'm from Buffalo, New York. I know
Bruh.
the pain. I know the pain.
Bruh. So I'm at Dairy Queen making $7.30 an hour. I thought I was killing it because my mindset was still Jamaican, right? So for every dollar here at the time, it was 120 Jamaican dollars. So the calculation was not in US, is what I was making back home because that's the calculation I was using. So I thought I was killing it. And then being in New Hampshire for 2 years, I then moved to New York. I got a hold of my godfather, and I told him that I'm leaving everything behind in Jamaica, and I want to start here. No family, just my godfather, right? Went there, stayed there for, I believe, less than a year. We got into it. I wanted to go out. He had kids, and he's like, if I let you go out, the kids will start thinking they can go out too. So I'm not going to disrespect nobody in their home. So I moved out, went to Mount Vernon to live. A friend of mine, shout out to Chris, his uncle had a house. Dude, I went into a one room, not a one bedroom. I was sharing the room. All I had was a air mattress, bro, right? And during that time, I got a job at Five Guys. I was the best fry shaker in that motherfucker, right? I was shaking them basket 19 times, crispy golden fries. Yeah. But then I was making $8.50 an hour, right? And I thought I was killing it. But it's the people that I was around at that time. I thought that, I was doing good. It just goes to show the type of people that you hang around is important to your growth. So everybody around me was making they were making like $8 and $9 and $10 an hour, and you could go out, you could pool together and maybe buy a bottle right? And do stuff like that, barely go out. But you know what? That season was essential to the person that I became. So along the lines of that now, 2012, now I joined the military because I joined the military.
What branch?
Army National Guard. So I wanted to get my citizenship. So I joined the military, got my citizenship. And the military has been wonderful because now I was into their program. And this is what a lot of people don't comprehend, the power of affirmation. There is no other organization on the planet that I know that takes people from all different walks of life. And in 8 weeks, everyone thinks the exact same way. Dude, we're waking up at 4:30 in the morning. We're going on a run. We're singing. The Army is great. The United States is great. This is what we're going to do for our country every morning for 8 weeks. Affirmation is one of the most powerful things ever created.